Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, July 14th, 2022. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's Major League Baseball, NBA Summer League, WNBA, Major League Soccer games, look ahead to today's games in each sport. We'll go over the current leaderboard at the Open, my latest MLB mock draft news and notes, and best bet. We'll start with Major League Baseball. We'll go over the games from yesterday and look ahead to today's games. Doubleheader Game 1, Mariners over the Nationals 6-4, Seattle 46-42, Washington 30-59. Mets over the Braves 7-3, Mets 55-34, Atlanta 53-37. That was a big win for New York. Twins over the Brewers 4-1, the Twins are 49-41, Milwaukee's 49-40. Royals over the Tigers 5-2, the Royals are 35-53, Detroit is 37-52. Giants over the Diamondbacks 4-3. Giants 45-42. Arizona 39-50. Mariners over the Nationals 2-1. The Mariners 47-42. Washington 30-60. Marlins over the Pirates 5-4-10 on a walk-off wild pitch as Jesus Aguilar scores from third. Miami 42-45. Pittsburgh 38-51. Yankees over the Reds, 7-6-10 on another walk-off wild pitch. As DJ LeMahieu scores the winning run. Yanks bounce back. They're 62-26 and avoid a 4-game losing streak. Reds are 33-55. Blue Jays over the Phillies, 8-2. The Blue Jays are 47-42. Phillies are 46-43. Rays over the Red Sox, 4-1. The Rays are 48-40. Boston 47-42. White Sox over the Guardians 2-1. White Sox 43-45. Cleveland 43-44. Dodgers over the Cardinals 7-6 as the Dodgers come back from 6 runs down. LA is 57-30. Cardinals are 48-43. Orioles over the Cubs 7-1. They win their 10th straight. Baltimore is 45-44. Cubs are 34-54. Rangers over the A's, 5-2. Rangers are 41-45. Oakland's 30-60. Rockies over the Padres, 10-6. So best bet was a loser. Colorado 40-49. San Diego 50-40. And the Angels over the Astros, 7-1. The Angels are 39-50. Houston's 57-30. All right, now we look ahead to today's games at 12 o'clock. We have the Pirates at the Marlins. Zach Thompson against Braxton Garrett. The Marlins are favored. -180. Pittsburgh's 152 plus. Over under 7.5. Overs -114. Unders -106. Pittsburgh plus 1.5 is -152. Marlins -1.5 is +126. I'm going with the over. 3 o'clock. Padres Rockies. Blake Snell, Kyle Freeland. Padres -134. Rockies +114. Over under 11.5. Overs -105. Unders -115. Padres -1.5 is +106. Rockies +1.5 is -128. I kind of like the Rockies to win outright in this one. +114. Why not? Padres looking ahead a little bit. Braves Nats at 7. Kyle Wright and Anibal Sanchez making his season debut. Braves -220. Nats +184. Over under 10. Overs -105. Unders -115. Braves -1.5 is -137. Nats +1.5 is +114. I'm going with the Nationals on the run line at +1.5 at +114. I think it's crazy that ESPN Analytics is giving them a 40.4% chance to win. Reds Yankees. Luis Castillo against Nestor Cortez. Yanks -200. Reds +168. Over under 8. Overs -114. Unders -106. Reds +1.5 is -125. Yankees -1.5 is +104. I'm going to go with the first half tie at 5-1. I think Castillo will pitch well, and I think Nestor Cortez will pitch well. Royals Blue Jays. We don't know what's going for KC, and the Blue Jays are trying out Kevin Gausman. Jays are -375. Royals are 3-1. That's all we have. But I would like to see what the first half totals are and whatnot. Red Sox Rays. Cutter Crawford and Drew Rasmussen. Rays minus 134. Red Sox plus 114. Over under 7.5 minus 110 each way. Red Sox plus 1.5 is minus 205. Rays minus 1.5 is plus 168. I'm laying it with the Rays run line. They're 80.7 the win according to ESPN Analytics. That's insane. Tigers Guardians make up for May 21st. Elvin Rodriguez and Tristan McKenzie. Guardians minus 245. Tigers plus 205. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Tigers plus 1.5 is minus 105. Guardians minus 1.5 is minus 114. I'm going with the over. 7:15. Dodgers Cardinals. Tyler Anderson and Dakota Hudson. Dodgers minus 154. Cardinals plus 130. Over under 9. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Dodgers minus 1.5 is plus 105. Cardinals plus 1.5 is minus 126. I'm going with the Cardinals straight up plus 130. I think they bounce back and win tonight. Dakota Hudson will pitch well. White Sox Twins at 7:30. Johnny Cueto and Sonny Gray. Twins minus 162. White Sox plus 136. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 146. Twins minus 1.5 is plus 122. This is a hard one. Johnny Cueto has actually pitched well this year for Chicago. I'm going to go with the under. I don't like the pick, but that's where I'm going to go. 8 o'clock, Mets Cubs from Wrigley. Carlos Carrasco and Keegan Thompson. Mets minus 130, Cubs plus 110, over under 7.5, minus 110 each way. Mets minus 1.5 is plus 132, Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 160. Cubs are 56.1 to win according to ESPN Analytics. I'm taking them plus 110. Mariners Rangers. Marco Gonzalez and Martin Perez. Good pitching matchup. Rangers minus 116, Mariners minus 102, over under 8.5, overs minus 122, unders even money. Mariners plus 1.5 is minus 10, Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 172. I'm going with the Rangers minus 116. They're 60.2 according to ESPN Analytics, so I'm going to lay it with the Rangers. Astros Angels. Framber Valdez and Reed Detmers. Astros minus 164, Angels plus 138, over under 8, overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Astros minus 1.5 is plus 104, Angels plus 1.5 is minus 125. The money lines just changed to minus 172 and plus 144, by the way. I'm going to go with the over. I'm not a huge Reed Detmers fan, and I think that the Angels bullpen could blow up. And last but not least, 9:45, a decent game. The Brewers and the Giants, Corbin Burns and Carlos Rodon. Great pitching matchup, though. Brewers minus 116, Giants minus 102, over under 6, overs minus 118, unders minus 102. Brewers minus 1.5 is plus 164, Giants plus 1.5 is minus 200. I'm laying the minus 102 on the money line with the Giants. They're a home dog, but they're 58.1 according to ESPN Analytics, so I'm going to go Giants minus 102 against the Brewers. All right, now we'll move on to the NBA Summer League. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today's games. Bucks over the Timberwolves, 87-75. Sandro Mamushkavali, 18 points and 15 boards for Milwaukee, and Kevin Harris, 16 points, 4 assists for Minnesota. Hornets over the Cavs, 91-80. Bryce McGowan's 24 points for Charlotte, and Ochai Agbaji, 24 for Cleveland. Pelicans over the Wizards, 106-88. Davidas Sarivdis, 25 points. Vernon Carey Jr., 11 and 7 or 4 boards. I thought that said 7 boards, but only 4. Raptors over the Jazz, 80-74. DJ Wilson, 22 and 9. Jared Butler had 12 and 6 assists for Utah. Thunder over the Kings, 86-80. Trey Mann, 15 points and 7 assists. Keegan Murray, 29 points for Sacramento. 76ers over the Heat, 75-71. Trevlin Green, 16 points for Philly, and Javonte Smart had 20 and 4 assists for Miami. Nuggets over the Clippers, 80-75. Matt Mitchell, 17 points for Denver, and Jay Scrubb had 18 for the Clippers. Now we look ahead to today's games. There's a lot of them. 3:30 from T&M. We have the Memphis and the Celtics. Memphis is favored by 5.5 totals, 180.5. I'm going with the under. I think that's a high total. 4 o'clock from Cox. Hawks Spurs. Spurs favored by 1.5. Totals 174.5. I'm going to lay it with San Antonio. 5 o'clock from T&M. 5:30, my bad. Cavs Pistons. Pistons favored by 3.5. Totals 177.5. That's a tough one, but I'm going to lay the 3.5 with the Pistons. 6 o'clock from Cox. Bulls Hornets. Hornets favored by 4.5. Totals 173.5. I'll take the over. 7:30 from T&M. Knicks Magic. Knicks favored by 4.5. Totals 174.5. I'm going with Orlando. Actually, I do want to go with Orlando getting the points, but no Banchero makes me nervous. So I'm going to begrudgingly take Orlando. 8 o'clock on ESPN, the Mavericks and the Bucks from Cox. Bucks favored by 2.5. Totals 182.5. I like the under. 9:30 from T&M, Portland, Houston. Portland's favored by 1.5. Totals 172.5. I'm taking Houston plus the 1.5 and plus 102 straight up. I think Jabari Smith, this is a good spot for him. And 10 o'clock on ESPN, you have the Nets and the Timberwolves from Cox. Brooklyn favored by 4.5. Totals 171.5. I'm going to take the over in that one. All right, now we'll move on to the WNBA. We'll recap the games from yesterday and look ahead to today's window. Sun over the Fever 89-81. The Sun are 15-8. Indies 5-20. Jonquel Jones had 20 points and 14 boards for Connecticut, and Kelsey Mitchell had 21 for Indy. Now we look ahead to today's games. There's 4 of them. 11 a.m. on NBA TV of the Aces and the Liberty. Again, Aces favorite 6.5. Totals 174.5. I'm trying it again. I'm taking the Liberty, getting the 6.5. I think they win outright this time, plus 210 at home. Sabrina Ionescu could be the best player on the court. 8 o'clock on Twitter, we have the Wings and the Lynx. Lynx favorite by 6.5. Totals 165.5. I'm taking Dallas getting the 6.5, and I think they're live too. They're plus 210. 10 o'clock, you have the Mystics and the Mercury. The Mystics are favored by 3.5. Totals 159.5. I'm taking the over. That's too low. And 10:30 on Facebook, you have the Sky and the Sparks. The Sky are laying 4.5. Totals 167.5. I'm going to take the over in that game as well. All right, now I'm going to go over the Major League Soccer results from yesterday. We do not have any games today, unfortunately. Atlanta over Salt Lake 2-1. Chicago over Toronto 2-0. DC United and Columbus 2-2 draw. Cincinnati Vancouver 2-2 draw. Philly over Miami 2-1. Minnesota KC 1-1 draw. Nashville over Seattle 1-0. Colorado over Orlando. Colorado Orlando 1-1 draw. NYCFC over Dallas 1-0. And San Jose over the Galaxy 3-2. No soccer again until Saturday. So that's that. All right, now I'm going to go over the current leaderboard for the Open. Your leader, where things stand right now, with a score of 8 under, Cam Young. Tied for second with 5 under, Cam Smith and Ernie Els. Tied for fourth with 4 under, Kurt Katayama, Barkley Brown, Lee Westwood, and Rory McIlroy. Tied for 8th with 3 under, Ian Poulter, Minwoo Lee, Bryson DeChambeau, Joo Hyung Kim, Kyung-Hoo Lee, Xander Schauffele, Danny Willett, Brad Kennedy, Taylor Gooch, and Dylan Fratelli. Tied for 18th with 2 under, Lucas Herbert, Robert McIntyre, Vincent Perez, Scott Vincent, Victor Hovland, Justin Thomas, Hideki Matsuyama, Trey Molinax, Mark Leachman, Tristan Lawrence, Brandon Wu, Sundam Kawikajana. Actually, Simpson, Koichi Ghana, and Brandon Wu are all tied for 28th and 1 under, along with Cam Triangle, Corey Connors, Dean Brewmester, Tony Finau, Justin De Los Santos, Christian Ziedenhout, Thomas Dietrich, Paul Casey, Bernd Weisberger, Lee Haitong. My pick of Dustin Johnson, Scotty Scheffler, Grayson Hio, Joaquin Neiman, Phil Mickelson, Higo Mickelson, Patrick Reeder tied for 44th at even, along with Tommy Fleetwood, Zach Johnson, Colin Morikawa, Nikolai Hojard, Shane Lowry, John Parry, Oliver Farr, Matt Ford, Aaron Weiss, Saibu Kim, Ryan Fox, Sungjae Im, Sean Norris, Tyrell Hatton, Philip Oselli, Aaron Ray, Richard Bland, Kevin Na, Kazuki Higa, and Justin Harding. Notables tied for 67th with 1 over. Seamus Power, Brooks Koepka, Brett Horschel, Brian Harmon, JT Potson, Mackenzie Hughes, Will Zalatoris, Chris Kirk, Kevin Kisner, Wyndham Clark, Ryan Henley, Sergio Garcia, Stuart Sink, Gary Woodland, Adam Scott, tied for 91st with 2 over. Taylor Hogue, Jason Kokrak, Alexander Zork, tied for 107th with 3 over. Nobody of significance. Tied for 112th with 4 over. Luke List. And there's some still to tee off, including Tiger Woods. So, you gotta keep an eye on that. Now I'm going to do my latest MLB mock draft. This is my 3rd one. And on Friday, I'm going to do my final mock draft. Can't believe I'm only doing 4 this year, but that's because I had, so much other shit to do on the podcast. So here we go, my 3rd MLB mock draft. Number 1, the Baltimore Orioles, Drew Jones, outfielder, Wesleyan High School in Georgia. Jones is easily the best player in this draft class, and the Orioles will be happy to add them to their collection of young talent. Jones has the ability and upside to be an all-star caliber player in the big leagues like his father Andrew was. Number 2, the Arizona Diamondbacks, Jackson Holliday, shortstop, Stillwater High School, Oklahoma. The Diamondbacks go to who is arguably the second best player in this draft in Holliday. He may not be a fast developer in the minors, but they will likely get a start here with Holliday. 3, the Texas Rangers, Brooks Lee, shortstop, third baseman, Cal Poly. The Rangers take a fast-rising prospect here in Lee, who I could see being picked here. Lee could have been the top overall pick due to his improvement the past few seasons in college. 4, the Pittsburgh Pirates, Cam Collar, third baseman, Chipola, JUCO. The Pirates are rumored for college bats mainly, but a high school bat cannot be ruled out completely. Collier is one of the draft's more intriguing players as he is still 17 years old and showed upside in the Cape Cod League. 5, the Washington Nationals, Elijah Green, outfielder, IMG Academy in Florida. The Nationals are a team that has to simply go with the best player available. Green has a ton of upside, but questions about his tool, his hit tool, could cause him to slip in this draft. 6, the Miami Marlins, Jacob Berry, outfielder, third baseman, LSU. The Marlins take Berry here to add to their solid collection of young bats. Berry's bat can play anywhere, but the question is what position he'll end up at long term. 7, the Chicago Cubs, Zach Nato, shortstop, Campbell. Campbell this high would be a reach for the Cubs, who I think should just go with the best player available. Despite playing for a mid-major school, Nato really proved some doubters wrong with a strong showing for Team USA last summer. Number 8, the Minnesota Twins, Tamar Johnson, second baseman, Mace High School in Georgia. Johnson falling here to Minnesota could be an absolute steal. Johnson is best pure hitter in this draft class, and the sole reason why he likely won't go first overall is because of his suspect defense. 9, the Kansas City Royals, Kevin Parada, catcher, Georgia Tech. I feel very strongly about college catchers, and Parada falling this far would be a steal for the Royals. Parada's defense is not as strong as the likes of Adley Rutschman or Buster Posey due to his fringy arm, which hurts his accuracy. 10. The Colorado Rockies. Daniel Susac, catcher, Arizona. I love this possible pick for the Rockies as they get themselves a solid catching prospect. Susac has a better possibility of sticking behind the plate long-term than Kevin Parada, and also has an outstanding bat. 11. The New York Mets. Gavin Cross, outfielder for Virginia Tech. With their first of 2 picks, I have the Mets taking that talented outfielder. Cross really showed out with Team USA last summer, and there's a possibility Cross goes before this. Number 12, the Detroit Tigers. Brendan Barria, lefty, American Heritage High School in Florida. It'd be hard to imagine this long until a pitcher will be taken, but this one would be kind of a reach for the Tigers, but it's an upside play. Barria is more polished than most press arms in this class with his 3 above-average pitches and has great mechanics. Number 13, the Los Angeles Angels. Kumar Rocker, righty, Tri-City Frontier League. After failing to sign with the Mets last summer, Rocker's back in the summer's draft. The Angels are a great fit for him as he fills a need and would instantly become their top pitching prospect. 14, the New York Mets. Jace Jung, second baseman, Texas Tech. Jung will gather a ton of attention on draft night because of how successful his brother was in college. He hit the tear off the ball a majority of this past season in college, and he can absolutely go in the top 10. 15, the San Diego Padres. Dylan Lesko, ready, Buford High School, Georgia. This would be a steal for the Padres as Lesko falls to them at 15. Lesko is coming off Tommy John surgery, and he also has a Vanderbilt commitment, so there's no guarantee he will actually sign. 16, the Cleveland Guardians. Cole Young, shortstop, North Allegheny High School, Pennsylvania. The Guardians are getting themselves a solid player here with Young, who can definitely go higher than this on draft night. He's a great defensive player and has an advanced hitting skill set. 17, the Philadelphia Phillies. Brock Porter, righty, Orchard Lake St. Mary's High School in Michigan. Porter falling all the way down here would be a steal for the Phillies. Porter has a tremendous upside and would fit nicely in the Phil system. 18, the Cincinnati Reds. Jet Williams, shortstop, Rockwell Heath High School, Texas. Williams falling this far would be a steal for the Reds. Williams has great speed and bat-to-ball skills, which may have him get drafted higher. 19, the Oakland Athletics. Robbie Snelling, lefty, McQueen High School, Nevada. This would be a very interesting pick for the Athletics, who usually don't take high school pitchers. Snelling is the best lefty in this class and has great command with his pitches as well as multiple great pitches. 20, the Atlanta Braves. Connor Prelip, lefty, Alabama. This could be a possible steal for the Braves as Prelip is someone who is in play for the number 1 overall pick before getting Tommy John surgery. Prelip has the best breaking pitch in this class as well as a great fastball. 21, the Seattle Mariners. Justin Crawford, outfielder, Bishop Gorham High School, Nevada. This would be a steal for the Mariners if Crawford were to fall this far. Crawford could, in theory, be picked in the top 10, and scouts in the industry have been raving about his potential. 22, the St. Louis Cardinals. Cooper Zerpe, lefty, Oregon State. This would be a solid pick for the Cardinals, who usually do well at drafting college pitchers. Zerpe was one of the best Pac-12 pitchers this past season and could be a middle-of-the-rotation guy with a solid strikeout rate. 23, the Toronto Blue Jays. Gabriel Hughes, righty, Gonzaga. The Blue Jays are a team that needs some reinforcements in their farm system with some of their recent trades. Hughes has 2 outstanding pitchers with his slider and fastball, but he slumped down the stretch, which made his numbers not look shiny. 24, the Boston Red Sox. Jordan Beck, outfielder, Tennessee. The Red Sox seem like they're looking at college bats this time around. Beck has raw power, but like most raw power hitters, he has holes in his swings. 25, the New York Yankees. Sterling Thompson, outfielder, second baseman, Florida. A hot rumor as the draft approaches is that the Yankees are looking at college bats and outfielders in particular. Thompson is one of the more accomplished hitters in this draft class and perhaps one of the safest bets as well. 26, the Chicago White Sox. Tucker Tolman, third baseman, Hammond High School, South Carolina. The White Sox have a super thin farm system, so they could just go with the best player available. Toman is not super athletic, but could also slide at left field and has a strong arm as well as a solid bat. 27, the Milwaukee Brewers. Drew Gilbert, outfielder, Tennessee. This would be a very nice selection for the Brewers, who can use some college hitters in their system. Gilbert is a safe bet to remain in center field long term, and he really put it together offensively this past season in college. 28, the Houston Astros. Dylan Beavers, outfielder, California. The Astros land themselves a major steal here with Beavers. He's a very tall outfielder and has a ton of power and has a great hit tool, although there are flaws in his swing. 29, the Tampa Bay Rays. Eric Brown, shortstop, East Carolina. Brown is a prospect that is a fast riser come the draft on Sunday. Brown is a player that the Rays would really like with his positional versatility and athleticism. And number 30, the San Francisco Giants. Peyton Graham, shortstop, Alabama. Graham is another fast-rising shortstop as the draft approaches. Graham really put on a show in the College World Series and is someone who's a very streaky player. All right, now we'll go over my latest news and notes. NHL free agency dominated yesterday. So, Pavel Zacha traded from the Devils to the Bruins, so maybe a change of scenery there. Avalanche re-signed Josh Manson, 4 years, about $21 million, so decent signing for Colorado. Claude Giroux to the Senators, 3 years, about $18 million, so the Sens got a veteran there, so they have him to DeBrincat, so they've had a really nice offseason, and Cam Talbot, too. Oilers signed Jack Campbell, 5 year, $25 million. I think that might be a little bit of an overpay for Jack Campbell, but I do like the fit. Leafs signed former Capitals goaltender Ilya Samsonov, 1 year, $1.8 million, so it's going to be Samsonov and Matt Murray in Toronto. Blues extend Nick Leddy, 4 years, $16 million. Like that extension for Nick Leddy. He was a good piece for the Blues. Blackhawks signed Max Domi and Andreas Athanasiou, 1 year, $3 million each. I like both signings. I think both of them could be trade bait come February next year. How about this? The San Jose Sharks trade Brett Burns to the Carolina Hurricanes in an absolute monster trade. Very, very interesting trade. I love it for Carolina. They get a really good player in Burns. So, Burns and Lane Peterson to Carolina for Steven Lorenz, AHL goalie Itu Makamini, and the conditional 2023 third-round pick. I love this deal for Carolina. That's it to get Brent Burns. Wild. Amazing trade for Carolina. So the Lightning handing out money left and right. Mikhail Sergachev, 8 years, about $64 million. So that's a good one. Anthony Cirelli, 8 years, about $48 million. So those are two really big contract extensions for the Lightning. Capitals signed Darcy Kemper, 5 years, about $25 million. So Kemper gets paid, and the Capitals upgraded net. The Dallas Stars signed Mason Marchand, 4 years, $16 million. So nice complimentary piece there. Colorado brings back or extends Artturi Lehkonen, 5 years, about $20 million or so, $21 million. So not a bad extension for Colorado. Ben Chirot, 4 years, about $17 million. We'll see about that one. The Rangers get Vincent Trocheck, 7-year deal, like $36 million. I don't like that it's 7 years, but what a great fit for the Rangers. great fit. Just, I think, gave him too many years. As good as Vincent Trocheck is, and I think he'll be a great Ranger. I really do. The Red Wings signed Andrew Kopp, 5 years, like $26 million. The Rangers bring in 2 goaltenders. Yaroslav Halak, 1 year, $1.5 million. To be the backup, and then they bring in Louis Domingue, probably for the AHL team, the Hartford Whalers. Anaheim signs Frank Vetrano, 3 years, $18 million about. Rangers trade Patrick Nemeth to the Coyotes, along with a 2025 second-round pick and future conditional pick for Ty Emberson. So, Rangers clearing cap room there. So, Andre Burakovsky to the Kraken, 5-year deal, like $26 million. $27.5 million about. Shane Wright agrees to a deal with the Kraken, too. David Perron to the Red Wings, 2 years. $4.5 million average. So, 2 years, $9.5 million. So, good deal for him in Detroit. And another trade by the Carolina Hurricanes. They acquired Max Pacioretty and Dylan Coughlin from the Vegas Golden Knights in exchange for future considerations. Another great trade for Carolina. I think Carolina had a great day yesterday, and I really think that it was a great trade. So it was a salary dump move, pretty much. And I love it for Carolina. And the biggest free agent on the board, Johnny Gaudreau, amazingly and surprisingly enough, goes to the Columbus Blue Jackets. 7 years, $68.6 million. He took a big pay cut between $15 million and $17.5 million from Calgary to choosing Columbus, which is insane. I can't believe Columbus got him. Like, why would he want to go play in Columbus? Like, it's a very confusing thing, but good on Columbus for landing the big fish. And the Devils made a stronger offer. And they didn't get him. The Anaheim Ducks signed Ryan Strome, 5 years, $25 million. I'm not the biggest Ryan Strome fan. I know the Rangers highway robbed I believe it was the Edmonton Oilers in that trade for Ryan Spooner. And Strome was a decent player, but God, that whiff in Game 5 is like the lasting memory I have of him. And Andre Palat, 5 years, $30 million to the New Jersey Devils. So the Devils get Andre Palat to go with their young core. So a very busy day in hockey yesterday. And here's something funny. Jaromir Jagr tells GMs he could play as he tweets that he wants to sign with a team. I'm 50 years old, slow, but strong in good hands. Very funny. 2 more heading to the home run derby. Julio Rodriguez of the Mariners and Jose Ramirez of the Guardians. So, 2 really interesting players going to the derby. 1 spot's left open. At gunpoint, why do I feel like it's going to be like Giancarlo Stanton or somebody like that? Like, don't they need a Yankee in the derby? I have a funny feeling it's going to be Giancarlo Stanton. That's my guess. And in big news yesterday, the Blue Jays fired Charlie Montoyo. I'm surprised by this move. The Blue Jays have been arguably baseball's biggest underachiever this year. 46-42. They were the darlings of the American League coming into the year. And now they're in 4th place in the American League East and closer to the Orioles in the division than the Yankees, which is a disgrace for the Blue Jays. But you got to give the Orioles credit, though, because they've They're over 500, and nobody expected it. Brandon Hyde, to me, is the American League Manager of the Year, by the way, in the American League now. The Orioles are over 500. But Charlie Montoyo out. He was certainly a manager on the hot seat because of the underachievement. And the intern manager is John Schneider, who was the bench coach. We'll see how he does. So this is the third manager fired this year. Phillies have been better since firing Girardi, and the Angels have been bad since firing Joe Madden. I think the Angels might have made a mistake, but certainly I think the Phillies probably were right, but the Angels probably regret it, even though they probably would have done it after the season anyway, but they've gotten worse since they fired him. 10 Royals players to miss Toronto, including Andrew Benintendi, because they are unvaccinated. And speaking of the Blue Jays, this advantage that they have has not worked because they're 46-42. And everyone and their mother thought before the season that there was going to be a huge advantage for the Blue Jays that you can only be vaccinated to play in Toronto. And it really hasn't been an advantage for the Blue Jays. And Andrew Benintendi obviously now is like a hot commodity in the trade market. And let's see if this affects teams' decision-making at the trade deadline. I don't think it should because Benintendi's a good player. But it's certainly going to have teams scratching their heads. Yankees starter Luis Severino left last night's game with right shoulder soreness. Oh my goodness. If they lose him, they need to get somebody like Luis Castillo or Carlos Rodon or Kyle Hendricks in their rotation, because if Severino's out, they're I always said the Yankees were a pitcher injury away from needing to grab a starter. I think the Yankees probably would have added a starter anyway, because the Yankees probably see that they're not flaws in the rotation, but a lot of guys are just overworked, like Cortez and Taillon, and even Severino to some degree. So we'll see. He's probably heading to the injured list, and Domingo Germán's supposed to come back for them, and he was a good pitcher for them, but the off-field issues were a huge problem. But maybe he'll give them a boost. We'll see. Klay Thompson calls out the media doubters, as Klay says, they said we were dead in the water. There were people that wrote off the Warriors because of people doubting Klay and people doubting Draymond, but they proved everyone wrong and won the title. The New York Knicks have had discussions with the Utah Jazz about sending Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks. There's a lot of speculation that New York will not include R.J. Barrett in a deal, which is the right call. You want to play him with R.J. Barrett and with Jalen Brunson. We'll see if Julius Randle's maybe in this deal or not, unless it's a 3-team deal where Randle goes to like Sacramento or something like that. We'll see. So, it's going to be interesting to see what goes down here. And I give the Knicks credit for trying this offseason. But if R.J. Barrett is a deal breaker, then Knicks shouldn't do it. Because I really think R.J. Barrett is going to be a franchise player. He like Jimmy Butler-esque. So I think it'd be a mistake if the Knicks move R.J. Barrett in any deal for Donovan Mitchell. So a couple non-sports news. Mayor Adams says New York City nuke attack. Preparedness PSA, not alarmness. Better safe than sorry. And then there's a Long Island shark attack. As a shark was swimming at Suffolk Beach after a surfer was ambushed, which is pretty scary. And then that's really it for news and notes. And now we'll move on to best bet of the day. brought to you by FanDuel. There's some interesting ones here, to say the least. So I am going to go with the There's one I liked. I'm going to go with the Rays run line, -1.5 at plus 160. I'm only going to weigh a fifth of a unit on it because it's plus 160 and I don't want to be greedy on plus 160. So a fifth of a unit, plus 160 with the Rays -1.5 against the Red Sox. All right, so there you have it for my best bet of the day. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything from baseball, WNBA, the Summer League. We have soccer back. U.S. Open, we'll see who everybody is and where Tiger is. And obviously news and notes and best bet. And my final MLB mock draft as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.